Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Friends on Friday, and I have a really special guest today, and it is my firstborn, only born son, but I call him the son of my womb. You know, in Proverbs 31, the Bible says that Proverbs 31 woman has two children. One is the son of her womb, and one is the son of her vows. Go figure. That means that when you're a blended family, you don't have stepchildren. You have a child of your vows and a child of your womb. So the child of my womb, or the man of my womb, is here today, and his fiance is here too. I don't know if she'll come on camera, but I hope she does. So come on up, George. Yay! Hey, son.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And I want to tell y'all that it's really not morning. We are pre-recording because he wanted to come over for Sunday dinner. So we have some really good food here. It's all nutritious, all natural, made from greens. We had goulash, which is a meal that my mom fixed for her 6 girls, and it went a long way. But I modified it by using spinach noodles. Spinach pasta has a little bit of carrot pasta, and so it doesn't convert to sugar in the body as fast. That's just a note for those who are dealing with diabetes. It helps with your glycemic index, and so it gets in the body a little bit slower, and that means you can eat some and it'll level you out. So here is George, and I'm gonna let him talk a little bit today because we're gonna make a juice that is one of his favorite juices that we made last week for the thyroid, and that is the pineapple, strawberry, and cranberry juice. Because I started this journey because I was diagnosed with cancer, I want George to come in and talk a little bit about his initial reaction, his initial thoughts when I was diagnosed with cancer, and I'm going to turn it over to him. And I want to hear what he actually felt, because I don't think we've ever had this discussion in depth. So you are the first ones to get to hear, well, maybe the second, because we did do it on his show one day, his Stronger Than Coffee show on Mixcloud. So here's George, everybody.
All right. So, good evening. Good morning. Basically, my initial reaction wasn't a typical reaction. And when I share this story with other people, I like to tell them I'm a very non-traditional person. So, basically, my first reaction wasn't a reaction of sorrow or sadness or anything, because of her faith in God and her faith in the church. I didn't have a reaction like most people, like, oh, she's sick, something's wrong, da 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 da. No, I just thought about, okay, where's her faith? That was my main thing, because you talk about God so much and you tell people about God so much, and I know how much that she's faithful in giving to the church. So my thing was like, you've already paid for your healing, so what are we worried? What are we worried for? You know, but most people feel like when they hear sickness or disease, because a vast majority of this stuff is man-made, you know, or man-made things for a business, because life itself is a business. And people tend to fall into that business, unfortunately, instead of looking inside themselves, doing the research, praying, using their faith. And that was what my thing was. I just wanted her to use her faith. So once the light bulb went off and she really did start using her faith, that really gave me a better outlook on faith, a better outlook on trusting God, and standing on what you really believe in.
Yeah.
You know, because believe it or not, a lot of people believe in different things. And I feel like you can have your own belief, but as long as you stand on what you believe in, that's what my thing was with her. Because like, you've been pushing this to me all my life. This. God, Jesus, church, this, all of my life. And then here comes a point where you really have to use your strength. And of course she broke down and cried, but it's like, I'm emotionless because I already know the outcome.
That's a good point.
I'd already seen God work, and I had already seen faith work. So I looked at it like, all right, use your faith, pray, do the same thing that you do that you tell everybody else to do. You know, and that was my main thing. And I told my brother the same thing. Like, you know, we both discussed it because it's a joke to me. Like, you're faithful in your giving. You know, not to put a dollar amount on how much he's given over time, but seriously, you could have bought a hospital with the amount that you've given to the church over time. So with that being said, that was my main reaction when she told me, like, oh, I've been diagnosed. Don't tell the grandkids yet because I don't want them to be startled and this, that, and the third. And I'm thinking in my head.
And say what you just said because you whispered.
Yeah, like,
because I was whispering it.
Yeah, but that's what.
But
that's what the whole thing was. Don't tell my kids. They're gonna be startled. This, that, and the third. But I already knew in my heart that this was gonna pass. It wasn't gonna be one of those things, you know. And it's not a knock to anybody else. And you know, my heart goes out to anybody's family that's struggling with it or have lost a loved one to it.
Right.
But fortunately, these shows are here for you now.
Yeah.
To where it's preventative maintenance.
And that's
and we can all take this serious. You know, and the journey of what she went through, I learned a lot. Do I stick to it all the time? No. There's a lot of things that we all learn, a lot that we don't stick to, you know. But ultimately, deep inside of us, we know. And it's something I've been talking about all week, not to take too much of your show, but delayed gratification. That's what we all struggle with. We want a result overnight. We want a result in a microwave fashion. And that's the reason that people tend to lean on medicine and doctors, because they want that instant right away. You go to chemo because you believe that it's going to be instant instead of taking the time to actually rebuild your body and do the research and work on things like this. So she's been slipping when it comes to eating. I've been slipping when it comes to eating, but we also know the outcome of what eating clean and doing the right thing for your body looks like, because she lost a lot of weight. I'd be out to dinner with her sometime and she'd pull a baking soda out of her purse. And I'm like, they're going to think me in here cooking cocaine, but whatever. You know, it's just that she just put everything to kill acidity, everything. And then she's a wealth of knowledge. One, when it comes to the Bible and biblical things, she's a wealth of knowledge. And now when it comes to nutrition, I don't trust many people when it comes to their information. But if she says it, I'll fact check it. But I really don't have to fact check it because I know she's not going to deliver anything that's not right, whether she hasn't done research on it. So I stand by the product. You know, I told her recently, like, hey, you got to get back to juicing. Because I know, I didn't know what her problem was, but when I found out what her problem was, I watched her over the holidays sinking back into that slump of dozing off, midday, all of those things. And I was like, wait a minute, her cells are tired. It's a cellular deficiency. That's why she's feeling like that. And I watched that right before she got diagnosed. And then once she started doing what she was supposed to do, after the research, she started juicing, eating cleaner. I watched her be more alive, more alert, her skin, weight loss, weight around her belly, all kinds of stuff was like tightening up, shrinking. Dang, you look like my mom when I was 3, you know? But that's what cleaning your body out is all about and taking care of yourself. So I was more so, I'm not going to say I was excited, but I like challenges and I like the outcome of challenges. So when she got diagnosed, I was like, we done been through a whole bunch of stuff together that we done made it out of. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, that was water under the bridge. Yeah. I'm one of those type of thinkers too. If it's man-made, it can be beat. My grandma told me one time, like, all of this stuff is man-made. I got 6 kids and 6 different baby daddies, and I ain't never had nothing. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you do what you do. I'm staying back. I appreciate you for having me on today.
I don't
all
want
of that good stuff. I'm not gonna leave. I'm just gonna step back.
Stay right here.
I'm gonna step back and let you do what you do.
But one of the things I did want to say, and what he was saying, he is so right when it comes to actually depending on the pharmaceuticals that the doctors prescribe. I want to say to you that any of you that have been diagnosed with cancer, the first thing that you cannot do is be afraid. Do not allow your mind to go there. Don't allow your decisions to be fear-based, that you think you're going to die. Get that out of your mind. God made everything good for us. Every fruit, every vegetable, every seed, every nut, every bean, fish, chicken, everything that he made for our bodies to live by. And it's nutritious and it's good for our cells. So what I'm going to have George do now, because we've already made this juice before, some of you may have not seen that episode, but he's going to tell us the benefits of the pineapple, and we'll juice that. And then I'm going to go back over the benefits of the strawberries and the benefits of the cranberries. This particular juice, again, I will say, is for people who have hyperthyroidism. This is for people who have problems with their thyroids. Their thyroids don't produce iodine. Your hormones in your thyroid is very low to none. And when your thyroids are not functioning, you don't have iodine, but your metabolism is low. It means that you can't lose the weight that you would like. You eat right. You're doing everything right. But it is a hormonal problem. And with hormones, talk to your doctor about it and see if they can get you on natural hormones, not synthetic hormones, because synthetic hormones have aluminum. And I'm not trying to frighten anybody, but we have to check and make sure that what we're being prescribed is good for our bodies. We're not machines. And so there's certain things that our bodies will reject, but it will reject it in a way that it will cause tumors and growths and sickness and disease to come into the body. It's not like a car. Well, it really is, because if you put bad oil or bad gas in your engine, then that thing is going to shut down. And if we do it in our body, it is a slow process. We don't realize it all at once. Just like he was saying, over the holidays, because I can fall asleep in a minute. But I know when I am not eating right, and especially if it's food that has high fructose corn syrup, and I was eating certain things that had sugar in it, and I knew it. And what it'll do to me, and this was my body knocking for me, my vision would get blurred. And then I would tell myself, okay, whatever you had today, you can't have that anymore. So I still have to be careful. Now, I do eat a lot of things. I don't eat a lot of junky foods, but I do eat things that I believe, even when I read the nutrition label and the ingredients label, I'm thinking that it's safe for my body, and sometimes it's not. And that's why we did on last Friends on Fridays, we showed you how to read the label on a package. Don't just look at the nutrition facts, but look at the ingredients and see what's in it. So we're going to go ahead and move forward, because we don't want to hold you today, and we do want to get this juice done, because I am thirsty and I want to see what it tastes like again. So hold on, and guess what? Make sure you go to your description box and go to the links. If you don't have your juicer, like I said before, just cut up the pineapple chunks, put it in your container, take it to work, or keep it in the fridge, keep it cold, put it in the freezer. It is a nice, healthy snack. So guys, I want you to love yourself, really, really, really love yourself enough to eat right, but we're starting out with juicing. Later on, we're gonna have Chef Felicia up here, and she's gonna do a meal for us to show us how to cook a nutritious meal, and that will be another Friends on Friday episode. So George, can you tell us what the benefits are in the pineapple?
All right, a few of the benefits of the pineapples are, of course, it's loaded with nutrients. It contains disease-fighting antioxidants. It may aid in digestion. It may reduce your risk of cancer. It may boost immunity and suppress inflammation. It may ease symptoms of arthritis, and may speed recovery after surgery or strenuous exercise.
Now, the reason why the people who wrote these articles put it may do that is because they don't want to be sued for saying it really does do this. So I'm going to tell you that when you shut down your body and your the foods that you put in it that you crave and that you just love and you have to have, when you detox, basically that's what you're doing. When you do that, you are telling your body, we're going to take a break for now. we're just going to take a break. Because again, everything God made, he put everything, all the foods in the earth before he even created man. So with that, we're not going to juice yet, but I'm going to tell you what the benefits of the strawberries are and the cranberries. I have them on my sheet here, and I'm going to read those to you as well. But these potent little packages, which that's the strawberry, and they are really good. They're really sweet. We don't take the greens off, but they increase. Listen at this. Strawberries will help with your good cholesterol. And again, I want to tell y'all, those of you who have been diagnosed with high cholesterol, meaning your LDL is very high and your triglycerides are very high. All that is, ask your doctor to do a hormone check and see if your estrogen or your progesterone is off. Because if either one of those are off, it will give a false read that you have high cholesterol. Go figure. Who would have known? Unless we do the research, unless we ask questions. You cannot just go in and take somebody else's word for it when it could be a hormonal imbalance. So anyway, strawberries lower your increase your HDL. That's the good cholesterol. So eating strawberries, if you get a bad report on your cholesterol, that's your prescription right there. Strawberries. It lowers your blood pressure. It guards against cancer. It's packed with vitamins, fiber, and particularly high levels of antioxidants. Antioxidants it's something how God will do a thing. Basically, you know that if it's red in color, purple in color, dark in color, especially for fruits and vegetables, what it's going to do is it goes in and it fights free radicals. I told y'all the other day, free radicals are like little balls, or they're little cells, and they have little prickly like knives on all around it. And what it does, it goes in and it's like a magnet, and it will attach itself to good cells when you don't feed your body properly. But what you do, you get you some strawberries, some raspberries, some blueberries, some red grapes, and eat on those. And those nutrients in those fruits go right in and begin to fight for you. You have somebody on your team, and that's the Holy Ghost. And he will lead and guide you into all truth. And so when he gets on your team, he wants you to just follow his lead. He's the captain of the team. He wants to protect us. And the only way that we can be protected is if we eat what's been left in the earth for us. Some people will say, I have an allergic reaction to that. It's because you're toxic. So you have to cleanse the body, meaning cut out all of the junk food that you're eating, the fried foods, the sugary foods, all of the pastas, fast food. Cut all of that out just for a season, because all of you don't have a degenerative disease. You just feel bad. So cut all of this stuff out for at least a week. I'm starting a fast tomorrow. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to tell y'all, some people say you're not supposed to tell that you're fasting. I'm telling y'all, it's a 40-day fast from 6 in the morning to 6 at night. But you know what God told me that I could do? Because when I go to work, I work hard. This is a little tip, because sometimes in church, people won't even tell you this is what they do at home, but they want you to struggle in your fast. Did you know if I'm fasting from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., at 5 a.m., I can have breakfast because the fast is over at 6 p.m. You don't go back on the fast again till 6 a.m. So you could get up at 5, 4, eat a good hearty breakfast, and start your fast at 6 o'clock. That's just a tip. God is not going to be mad with you. If you were on a total fast where you were fasting 24 hours, that's a different thing. But this is a specific time frame fast. We are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And I'll tell you something else. And I know you're standing there, George, waiting for us to juice, but I want to tell y'all something else. When you fast, your body will begin to make you eat after you come off the fast. The body is so smart that it is saying we need to go back to the amount of food that we used to eat. So then you begin to gorge. And then that's where you see a lot of people in the body of Christ gain a lot of weight, because you were obedient to the fast, but nobody told you when you come off the fast, be careful and watch how your body is dictating to you how much food to eat. That's just a little tip for today. Going on to the cranberries, all right? Cranberries, iodine, I'm sorry. Cranberries are one of the fruits or vegetables. I'm not sure. It's a fruit, guys. But it is full of iodine, again, for your thyroid. It's full of vitamin C. It's also an antioxidant. Remember the color. Beautiful red colors are antioxidants. So I'm going to tell you this one more time, too, that there are other foods that iodine is found in. Seaweed, fish like canned tuna, cod, oysters, and shrimp. Table salts labeled with iodized infusion. Well, you can't always eat that type of salt because it may not be a clean quality product of salt. And then it may raise your blood pressure. Also, milk, yogurt, and cheese is high in iodine. Eggs are high in iodine. I know they tell you that's going to raise your cholesterol. Okay, beef liver and chicken. I want you to love on yourself. We're going to make this juice. We're going to have a good time. And I want you to take care of yourself. Please love yourself in 2023. Like I said before, if you don't love yourself, you don't have anything to give to anybody else. All right, G. You got your hands ready?
Let me first wash my hands before I touch this fruit.
Thank you.
Because I have my hands on my cell phone and in my pocket.
Thank you. So I hope that you're learning something today. And my son is being very quiet today for some reason. It's not like him, but I really, really appreciate him coming and doing this Friends on Friday with me. Because it was said to me when somebody saw the first episode, you should have your family. And I said, yeah, I will. And then he calls and I was like, let's pre-record Friends on Friday. So I'm hoping that you all enjoying yourself. And this juicer, remember it's the Breville, and you can go into the description box and order it. But this juicer, the reason why I got it for me is because I bought it for him. Because he would borrow my other juicer and juice onions. Go figure. Who would juice onions? But he did. And so I saw the juice that...
Let me interject real
Please.
quick. When I was juicing onions, red onions are good for lung health. I know we're getting ready to juice something else, but I would juice because I'm adventurous and whatever I like to eat, if it produces a juice, I'll put it in the juicer or I'll look it up. Can this go in the juicer? And I put those red onions in the juicer. Of course, they were super, super strong. But when I tell you my entire insides felt super, super clear. And you can do your research on the red onion and see why red onions are definitely more healthy than white onions. I'm not going to get into that because we're getting ready to juice. But that's a little knowledge that I learned on my own about red onions. And they're definitely good for lung health.
Wow, that's really good. And he was born with asthma. And like I told y'all before, there are 3 ways that sickness comes in the body. It's diet, demonic oppression, or generational. Now, when I was pregnant with George, and I shared that testimony too, but when I was pregnant with George, I craved black pepper. So can you imagine his little lungs trying to be developed, and I am craving black pepper. So it was a battle even when he was in my womb because his little lungs are being developed, but I'm compromising his lungs with that pepper. So he was born with asthma, but the church that we were in when he was, 11? About 11?
13.
Oh, okay, 13 years old. The pastor prayed for him. And from that day to this, I don't believe you've had an asthma attack. Yeah, and that's the power of God. See, God comes however he wants to come. And that pastor is anointed to deal with sickness and disease. But God took me in another direction. He just said, baby girl, you're going to have to discipline yourself. And you're going to have to do it my way. So let's juice. caramel. They pop up. Moving too slow. Come on, 'cause they're gonna pop up.
Is that coming out?
Yeah, like popcorn. What I love about the show when we do it is unscripted, because life is unscripted. We don't know what's gonna come next, but what we do know is we can prevent some things. And one of the things that we can do is take care of our health and look out for ourselves. And so, guys, we're going to, you see that? You see where that pineapple, it's the heavier of the juices, and so that always goes to the bottom. You have your strawberries and cranberries, and then you have a little bit of froth, but we're gonna mix it, and it always, I love that, because it always just looks like strawberry smoothie or strawberry ice cream. And this is taking the place of ice cream for me. I will say, since 2018, I've not had ice cream. I can't have it. And so we're going to toast, because it's really nice to celebrate what God is doing in 2023. It's one for you. Tamika, come on up. This is my future daughter, guys. Here you are, sweetie. You gonna say something to the people? All right, guys. So we're gonna toast to long life, good health, and a wonderful marriage for the two of you.
Yes.
God bless you. Let's see what this tastes like. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. So, George, I want you to tell the people, because my son is a fabulous DJ. I listen to him, and you talking about a motivational speaker. When you listen to his Stronger Than Coffee show on Mixcloud, sometimes I'll play it in the car, or I'll play it while I'm at work, working on a job. But it's always, especially his old school music. I love it, but it's other songs that I like too. But I want y'all to maybe sometimes tune into him and see how good he is. All right, George, close us out, son.
All right. All the stuff that we talked about today, you can look below, and it's links. Click on those links. Make sure you order you a juicer. Investing in your juicer is like investing in yourself. The salts that she mentioned, I believe we put those in the link as well. If we didn't, they'll be in by the time this show airs. Also, if I can leave you with anything, it's always, no matter what you go through in life with your family or anybody that you call family, make it right with them, because you never know what type of situation may arise. You never know when it may be your last time, and you don't want to live with a regret. You don't want to feel like just because your family member may be acting distant or acting a certain way or may have quote unquote cut you off, it doesn't hurt to reach out, and that's the thing that I learned more so when she was diagnosed, because I always thought about, I'm like the super strong person because of things that I've been through and done in my personal life, but I think about my kids or my nephew in situations like this, because I've lived with my mother forever, but my nephew, my kids, they adore their grandmother, so that being said, if you got anybody that's battling anything or any type of goal that they may have, invest in your people. Share your people's stuff, push your people, and don't ever knock accountability, because it's good to have accountability partners. It's good to have somebody that's gonna check you in a positive way, you know. So that's what I can say. And I'm glad that she came back to juicing, because I'm gonna tell y'all a couple of weeks ago, I was the accountability person. I checked the situation, like, hey, you can't do that, because I know what God told you to do. I know what you're supposed to do, and I know what your irritability comes from. I know what your tiredness comes from. I know what all of that came from.
Toxicity.
And once she detoxed, cleaned her body out, started juicing, started eating cleaner. Because
I did become a different person.
Yeah, absolutely. We ate good, you know. And it's another cheers to a new beginning in her home, you know. So basically, we celebrated from mid-November until
yeah,
a week ago.
Yeah.
Until the few days she started the show. So we really ate more, you know. Like I haven't eaten sweets on a regular basis in like 5 years, and I had cakes. I tasted everything. But I recognized my own, like, wait a minute, you getting thick. And you're not feeling like you would, you know. And if anybody tells you that your diet does not contribute to your attitude and your mental health, I'm here to tell you they're a liar.
Yeah.
Because certain foods that you eat, and people don't believe it because we're so accustomed to living a certain way, or we're so wired and programmed from young to think, hey, this is how we're supposed to be. But it's not. If you can notice, if you eat certain things, case in point, when you drink liquor, you feel a certain way, right?
That's a good point.
A lot of people don't think about that. There's certain things that you do that you recognize right away because it's doing things inside of your body. Me and my fiance talk about chemical imbalances sometimes. All this stuff that we put in our body attributes to chemical imbalances. Certain medicines don't coincide with each other. Certain medicines don't coincide with soda. Why do you think they say don't take this medicine with alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff is going on inside your body, and everything is wired to either your heart or your brain.
Yeah. Even certain medications can't even be taken with grapefruit juice because of the acid in it. Yeah. It's just so much that we have to look out for. And I'm glad he's on the show today because he's allowing you all to see that we're not perfect people. But what my testimony is that I obeyed God in eating clean, and it saved my life. And if I want to live a long life, a long, healthy life, then I had to get back to juicing. And so I invited y'all on the journey with me because it's what God asked me to do. And I don't want to see anybody sick or even die if you can help it. So if you listen to these videos, please share them with somebody. It's not for me to get likes or for me to blow up, but it is for me to help somebody get the message out that you don't have to die. One of the oncologists said to me that I would die a slow, painful death because I wouldn't do chemo. Shame on him.
Right.
Shame on him. Because I'm still here. This is going on my 5th year of being cancer-free because I obeyed. I obeyed 100. I stopped it all. And so I want to see somebody else have a long life and get to see their grandchildren get old, their son or their daughter get married.
Speaking of grandchildren or kids, when you get on your journey or when you're doing anything about your health, don't forget your kids. It's tough. We get into it sometimes about it. I was talking to my dad in the garage the other night about it. You know, we want our kids to be happy. We want our kids to feel good. We want our kids to love us. But ultimately, if we're changing our eating habits and the things that hurt us internally, but we're still allowing our kids to do that, or we're not explaining them to them, and yeah, they may be young and their minds may be fragile, but this is the best time for them to learn about nutrition.
Yeah.
Because if you think now, if we deposit good eating habits, or at least the consciousness of what this food does, or what this does, or what this does, then as they grow, they'll be healthier people. I listen to my fiance jump on her son all the time. He's a track star. And tell him, you can't eat these snacks. You may run and your metabolism may be this way, but you can't do this if you're going to be an athlete. You can't clog yourself up with all this crap. And that's the thing with our kids. Sometimes, and I know we have a time limit, but a lot of these things that they're doing with our kids and saying that our kids have in these school systems and things like that, that some of us as parents just let go along the wayside, like, yeah, I guess you're right. You know, or it could be something financial. We don't ever know everybody's walk of life. But certain things can be cut out by the foods that we eat. All of this is a business, and I recognized that early, and I'm glad that I did. So I'm going to personally let y'all go because I got some stuff I want to watch on TV.
I don't think they heard you. So guys, thank you for coming on this episode. Again, it's Friends on Friday, and it's my son and my daughter, and I am so glad they came tonight. We love you, love yourself, and we enjoyed doing this together. Bye, everybody.